Let's continue on with the next batch of episodes, shall we? Episode number 11. The dreaded Koharu episode. Lol, I'm only saying that primarily because of Gengar. This episode was actually pretty nice, although it did piss me off with Ash saying I want to catch loads more Pokemon, which I'll discuss more on episode 14 and episode 16. This episode was great for introducing Gengar, as well as some focus for Koharu. It is jarring to just have this series be about Go and Ash, but I do love this episode for fleshing out Koharu's character a lot more, and also allowing her to bond more with the Emperor that she was mostly indifferent before. Also, we get to see Koharu's brother and mother. Koharu's father, neglected to say, that's Professor Sakuragi, the institute where Go and Ash technically work at as research fellows. Oh, and this episode also had Cascoon. All of Go's Wurmple evolved into Cascoon. Amazing. Just simply amazing. Episode number 12. Lance versus Leon. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like the Dynamax and Gigantamax concepts very much. Don't get me wrong, I like the giant Pokemon battling each other, but I don't like how Gigantamax is primarily aesthetic with a different Z-move-like attack. And by that I mean Dynamaxing is basically making your monster grow because of Rita Repulsa, and your attacks get replaced with moves that are very similar to Z-moves that are based on type. That's that. But it was still cool seeing Lance and Leon fighting. And unlike other people, while I dislike Leon and the fact he has a Charizard, I will still continue to think Gigantamax Charizard is neat looking. Episode number 13. James, you'll need some ointment for that, but never mind. I'm not really a big fan of this episode, only because I didn't like how Ash seemed love-struck over Leon, which he's never done as far as I remember, so it was a bit jarring seeing him like that. But Scovit was pretty cute during that scene, eating food before being caught. But anyway, I did like that they confirmed Pikachu was Gigantamax, made for some amusing moments with Gigantamax Dreadnought. And I guess the battle between Leon and Ash was okay. However, the highlight, which should have been implied by now, was of course Choodle. Team Rocket partially responsible for Gigantamax Dreadmaw, but it was defeated by Gigantamax Pikachu. So because of that, Team Rocket are looking for it to try and capture it, and run into a Choodle which promptly bites James in the most hilarious scene of this so far. Shinjiro Miki, or however you pronounce it, made James, or Kojiro for the sake of consistency here, made Kojiro scream so hilariously, only for it to be like, oh wait, this Pokemon biting me doesn't actually hurt. It has been my favorite hilarious scene of this series so far. Episode number 14. The Raid Battle episode. Overall, this episode was good. We got lots of cool Dragonite focus, really cute scene of Dragonite not wanting to be returned to its Pokeball, a really cool raid battle, and some quick Unova captures for Go. But remember what I said in the episode 11 review, quick review that I did? How I was really not a fan of Ash saying I want to catch loads more Pokemon? The issue I had so far up to this point was sheer annoyance. Go was catching all these Pokemon, which wasn't really an issue, but Ash only had Dragonite. My frustration at this point was at a boiling point. Just give Ash something. So when Litwick showed up in the preview having a weird interaction with Ash, as well as Golurk, I was like, finally, Ash might catch something else to make up for the promise he didn't really get to keep. Did he catch Litwick or Golurk? No, because Litwick was owned by a trainer and Golurk was caught by Go, which was largely annoying because the Golett line was my most desired capture for Ash in the Unova generation during Best Switches, since the line fit him. I mean, how does Golurk's Pokedex entry stating Golurk was created to protect people and Pokemon? How does that not fit Ash, after everything he's done throughout this entire franchise? So I was thoroughly annoyed, especially since Ash was the only impressive person in that raid battle. I can overlook this because of what eventually happens in episode 16, but still Ash never getting Golett and Golurk unless as a regional variant now really sucks. Not as much as Ash never getting Phantup and evolving into Trevenant after a lot of cute bonding moments, but it still sucks. Well, this has been longer than most discussions of episode discussions. Sorry about that. Episode number 15, the Cubone episode. This episode was largely forgettable, but it wasn't bad. This episode introduced us to Go's parents as well as his grandmother, and we got a lot of focus for Go with a Cubone that he ends up catching after helping find its bone. Which, by the way, why haven't we seen Cubone since? It was a more important capture for Go than his usual captures. Probably should be on his team on a more permanent basis, don't you think? Other people suggested maybe because it says house pet Pokemon living with his parents. Possibly. The only positive I'll say about this episode outside of that was I was glad Ash didn't go back to Pellet Town and we missed his perspective. Before it was revealed Ash was going to help Go, I was dreading that possibility because I really hated that Ash was going to potentially interact with his old Pokemon and we weren't going to see this at all. So I'm so glad they avoided that can of worms. Episode number 16. One redemption episode down, one more still need to be reviewed. And what I mean is finally redemption for not allowing Ash to have Haunter in the original series. I've always disliked when Ash released Pokemon or just left Pokemon after a while, like Lapras, Pidgeot, Primeape, but the most egregious error I had of the original series was Haunter. It was never properly his, to be fair, but I feel like it should have been. After all, he was supposed to get a ghost type to help him with Sabrina. Then it just stayed with Sabrina because why not? I mean, it was never really Ash's after all. It was annoying, and to make matters worse, people were hoping the Gengar here was the Haunter then. However, if Sabrina did catch Haunter for her own, I think it's clear Ash would need to find a different Pokemon Gengar Haunter, because at that point Haunter should be far more attached to Sabrina than Ash. So why go with Ash if it was going to be brought back anyway? So I'm just glad that Ash caught his own Gengar, who was abandoned by a stupid trainer who blamed Gengar for his bad luck, abandoning him over 3 years. In some ways, Ash was in the wrong, preventing the old trainer from getting his just desserts. I'm just saying, but understandable why Ash saved the pathetic trainer. I just think maybe a Shadow Ball wouldn't have been the worst thing. And finally, Ash gets his ghost type. Gets a ghost type. This series is amazing. I'll tell you what. Perhaps that's why Ash didn't get Golurk, because Gengar truly deserved to be Ash's first ghost type Pokemon. Okay, writers, I'm okay with that reasoning. Also, as mentioned before, this episode finally resolved my issue with Ash at this point. I want to catch loads more Pokemon. Finally. Thank you. Now don't say it again, please, and make me frustrated that Go is the only one catching anything. Please. Episode number 17. This early? Look, let me be clear. I don't hate Go as a character, and while I will make jokes about Go at his expense in regards to his captures, I'm ultimately fine with Go and him capturing Pokemon. But I do not like the way he treated Scorbunny at all in this episode. I don't like how Go presumed to think he knew what he was talking about, basically calling Scorbunny mentally, or maybe more accurately, physically handicapped for not using Ember right away. You can't use Ember, you can't do it no matter what you do. Come on, Go, really? No matter how much you want to justify it, Go took no time in helping Scorbunny out. And in the end, he was wrong after all, and because what, Scorbunny isn't what's important to Go? No, Go, maybe helping out your Scorbunny is what should be important for you, not just capturing random Pokemon and thinking Scorbunny is fine. Anyway, amazing Choodle comes back, fantastic comeback. We all stand a good comeback from Choodle after all. And Team Rocket helps Go Scorbunny evolve into Reboot. All those captures are paying off. And it's nice to see the implication that the writers aren't going to unnecessarily shove starter Pokemon or any cutesy Pokemon down our throats for too long when they should have evolved a lot sooner. But to be fair to some people, maybe it didn't need to evolve this early. Maybe, I mean, maybe a little too early for it to evolve right now. But, and it doesn't really need to become Cinderace in record time, but we'll see what happens. Episode number 18. Shocking news, Gengar murders a Raichu and Ash is on the run from officers from the Pokemon World Championships. Joking aside, I love this episode. Gave us some great continuity, though from what we understand about future episodes, we're going to get some deep continuity coming up real soon, so look forward to that. Finally, we don't get a Pikachu versus Raichu battle. Well, at least one with a specific outcome. And also, we get to see Electrode in battle. The Leon episodes introduced us to the Pokemon World Championships, with Leon being number one, which had inspired Ash to participate in so he can rebattle Leon and kicks off his goal for the series. You know, similar to collecting badges and doing grand trials, for example. So let me clear up some misconceptions about this episode that people might have. 1. Despite how it appears, Ash is not battling a substitute for Lieutenant Surge. The episode makes it clear that Ash is battling Visquez. Visquez, being Lieutenant Surge's gym substitution, was just to flesh out her character, make her more interesting. But don't confuse her having a backstory with Ash not facing Lieutenant Surge. In other words, Lieutenant Surge and Visquez should have two entirely different ranks, and Ash went up against someone who he was allowed to fight. Obviously not Lieutenant Surge, lol. So I just wanted to hopefully clear that up. Secondly, Electrode did not use Explosion or Self-Destruct. It was Electrode's hidden ability, Aftermath, which means it was trying to tie with Pikachu, but Pikachu protected itself with Electro. I just wanted to clear up some misconceptions that I've seen people talking about it. Hopefully everything has been cleared up, but, just in case. Anyway, great, fantastic battle, loved it. Gengar murders Raichu, fantastic, amazing beast of a Pokemon. And also, hopefully we might see Ash battling Lieutenant Surge in the future. Episode number 19. These episodes kind of are why I dislike Team Rocket. Look, it should be no secret. I'm not a fan of Team Rocket. That being said, sometimes they really do have some good episodes, like Jessie releasing Dustox, for example. This was an episode where I'm like, yeah, this is a decent Team Rocket episode if you're a fan of them, only for this to turn into, well, that was largely pointless for me. What I mean is, while I dislike Team Rocket, I'm still okay with them getting focus episodes. But the issue, and why I ultimately dislike this episode, is that this episode ultimately served no purpose. No point. Jessie didn't get Ditto, and nothing was gained from this episode. And that's my problem. I don't like Team Rocket enough to be okay with filler focus episodes. If they're going to get focus episodes that I'm perfectly fine with, it needs to be an episode that moves the needle for them and gives them meaningful purpose. Maybe I'll be wrong and Ditto comes and come back and gets caught by Jessie, but ultimately, as of now, I will not be a fan of Team Rocket focus episodes that don't give them meaningful purpose. I already don't like them in the episodes to begin with. Episode number 20. The beautiful season finale. Oh, and while this fits more for episode 21 than episode 20, Ash, use your Dragonite, damn it. I don't care if it's too powerful. Use it anyway. Anyway, this episode basically acts as a season finale of sorts, where it moves the needle for Ash and Go to develop their goals. Go catches an insane amount of Pokemon, can you believe it? Go has half of the National Pokedex already. Okay, I'm joking, but this is definitely on par with the bug catching episode in terms of number of captures in a single episode. Meanwhile, Ash has a Pokemon World Championships battled with some dude's Meganium and shoots even higher in the rank. Almost, Ash, and you'll be moving into the next class of ranks. And also, can you believe it? But Mew's been here the whole time, pretending to be a Lugia, no doubt. Whoops. Anyway. Oh, and to be clear, I'm pretty sure Lugia itself was definitely in episode 2, where we actually saw it. So it's just that this one was just Mew in disguise. Also, Ghost Farfetch would be a great hitter for some baseball team. I said basketball. And now I have to change it and edit it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching this review for this batch of episodes. Look forward to other videos that I make.